We've talked about a lot of different weird controllers before on this channel, and normally when we do, it's a fun little history lesson about where a controller came from, why it was made, what game it was for, and whether or not it was actually maybe even useful in certain situations. This time it's a little bit different. So we went on the internet, we searched and bought a bunch of different weird controllers, and one of the ones we found was this little one right here, the Hori jog dial for PlayStation. Now, I had never heard of this controller before, and so we picked it up, I tried it out a little bit, and we did some research, and I found almost nothing. As far as we can gather, the main idea behind this guy is that it is a one-handed controller for RPGs specifically in mind. The idea being that a lot of RPGs back then were turn-based, they were slower, so you didn't have to worry about things like hitting buttons quickly or having coordination or doing button combos. You could just with one hand make options and selections and do what you need to do in the game. It's not an accessibility controller, it is not designed to make it easier to do any kind of other game one-handed. It is specifically just a way to more lazily play RPGs with one hand. Which does make a little bit of sense. There is another line of older controllers that had the same idea as well, called the Ascii Grip, and that was the same kind of setup right here. Now, like I said, we did find one article in Japanese talking about it, and the little extra info we can glean from that is that there are these two buttons at the bottom here which have a D and T on them. I wasn't entirely sure what they did before, but based on the article it sounds like they're mode change buttons, which might be the words fight and protect or defend or something like that, which kind of makes sense because for the T, the Japanese word for fight is tatakai. Tatakai. The T could be the first letter in that. The D, though, I'm not so sure because other than just straight up using the word defend, any Japanese word like that doesn't start with D. So it could be mixed languages, or it might be totally unrelated terms that I'm just messing up here. It's just, I'm not sure. And the thing is, not even knowing what these buttons do as far as the names go, just trying it out, I still can't figure out what they actually do. I've hit them while playing different games, trying different things. It doesn't seem to be any kind of turbo function or changing what buttons do. They're just mode changes that might do something. One other thing we did figure out too is that, well, we ordered this thinking it was a PS1 controller, which it will work for still, it applies to that. It looks like it might have actually been released for the PS2 specifically in mind. Now, as I said, this is supposed to be for RPGs, it's not supposed to make any other kind of game easy with one hand, so let's actually give this a shot. Let's try it on some RPGs and then maybe some other games that it's not designed for. So real quick, first we're going to test this on the kind of game it was actually designed for with one of my favorite PlayStation titles, Final Fantasy IX.
Final Fantasy IX.
So this should be pretty simple. I just have to use the D-pad and hit X every now and then. Maybe something else? Is it still called a D-pad when it's like a circle like that? Probably, it counts. So for Final Fantasies from the PS1, it is a little different because it's not actually turn-based. There's like kind of a sense of time, but it's not rushing you that much that you should still be fine doing stuff. Like, I could imagine some specific things that come up later where you might have to use your other hand to quickly hit one of the other buttons at the same time, but those are like weird, isolated incidents. Most of the game, this is, yeah, fine, no brainer. Next, let's try something a little more complicated. I'm gonna do Gran Turismo 2.
Gran Turismo 2.
Because with a racing game, I mainly just need to worry about accelerating and turning at the same time, and then I guess if I want to be good at the game, I should brake every now and then. But let's see how that works out with this thing. Hey guys, important question. Do I pick a slow car so I can actually control it, or should we just go fast all the time? So what's gonna be weird about this is that accelerating is X, and so if I want to be able to hit that but also turn at the same time, I'm just gonna rest my thumb here, press down, and then turn, which I can't imagine being comfortable. Oh yeah, this is not off to a good start. It doesn't help that the brake button is next to accelerate, so if I turn too hard to the right, I hit that and start braking. But I'm doing it, I'm turning and stuff. I'm in second for now. Oh no, it's about to go bad. Like, this certainly isn't optimal, but it's not bad so far. Once again though, like, I'm not really playing, oh no, I'm also on easy, so that's why. Oh, no, okay, now it's all going bad. All right, so next I'm gonna go with another PS1 classic with Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Which is like a side-scrolling action game, so I have to worry about moving, jumping, and attacking, and all kinds of other stuff at the same time. So this is gonna be a little more weird. It's definitely more time sensitive than the other games so far. All right, so I can move forward with minimal difficulty. Let's just go ahead and try and do some other stuff real quick before I even try fighting anyone. Yeah, that's jump. Okay, I can jump in, oh no, this is bad. The other thing too is that, so since the buttons are below the D-pad and I'm trying to hit a button and the D-pad at the same time using only one hand, I end up pressing down a lot, which causes me to crouch in this game, and that's not good. This isn't good, but it's not as bad as I was afraid of, at least so far. Having the trigger definitely helps, but it's really difficult to simultaneously jump, attack, and just do all those things at once while trying to move at the same time. Dodging moves is a problem. Now I'm dying. I don't even know how I just did that. I forget this game. Viable? Yes. Good. Not at all. This is a bad idea. Don't try playing Castlevania with this. Don't do that. Let's go one step harder. Okay, so for our last test, I'm gonna try playing Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid.
So I need to worry about crouching, moving, holding my gun, aiming, all kinds of stuff that I can't imagine even being remotely possible with this controller, especially when you consider that you have the bottom buttons and the shoulder buttons divided by this entire distance here, and I only have the one thumb. Attack, nope, bad. I can't be stealthy when I can't control very well. Nope, I really need to stop hitting the trigger because that's just making me crouch, which is not a good idea when people are firing at you. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to get to the first room. That's not a thing. It's impossible for me to do it right now with only having messed with this controller in the game for a minute. Look, man, I'm not one of those people that's gonna beat Dark Souls using a Guitar Hero guitar. It's just not, that's not me. So when this controller says that it's for RPGs and nothing else, it means it, really. Don't try using this other stuff unless you just want hard mode. Stick to a regular PlayStation controller. I can kind of understand why it kind of just disappeared in history because it is such a weird, specific use, but that's also more the reason why I want to know anything more about it. So if any of you guys watching know anything about this guy that we haven't already talked about in this video, let me know in the comments, please, because I need to know.